Hello Crafty Cutie! Today for this video I am going to show you how to make a chunky charm using the little DIY chunky charm kit that had come in the January junk trunk kit. So you're going to get a variety of things in here, and this is going to help you be able to make your chunky charm in many different ways. So everyone could have the same kit, you know, different beads, and end up with a different looking charm, which I really like. So this is going to be one of the main pieces. This is actually the chain that we are going to build our charm upon. This is going to make the entire process just really easy because you don't have to put any of this together. Then you will have a variety of beads. You are going to have some eye pins. I think there's 3 just like this, which I'll show you how I like to use those. And you'll also have some of these small little open rings which you can use for charms and things. That way if you have anything of your own that you want to include, you can use those. But I also included some clear like some clear thread that you can use for the beads as well. So we're gonna get started, and I'm gonna show you how I like to make these. Again, there's several different ways, but I am going to start out by taking one of my eye pins, and I'm just going to stack some of the beads on here that I want. So I'm going to think about what I want to use. Now some of the beads have a very big opening, and you can see that they would slide right off. So what you want to do is make sure to have a smaller bead at the start, and then depending on what size of an opening you have, you can usually stack your bead with the bigger opening next. I am going to actually, there's going to be a variety of different beads in your kit, so here. I think I will use that one next. I think I'm just going to stick to mostly the wooden beads on mine. So what I like to do is go ahead and, whoops, and I just bent that, and these do bend very easy, which is fine, but you can bend it right back. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize the eye pins. Again, you should have 2 or 3 in your kit. So I'm going to go ahead and do that same thing. I'm going to put a little smaller bead, and I kind of like to have my different combinations here kind of look similar. So I might not always use the same exact beads, but I kind of like having it be kind of match, I guess. But of course you can change up the colors, and then I'm going to do one more. And I will use these wooden beads again. I love these beads so much, and some of these are not wooden, they're more glass, and they just kind of look wooden. And I like that little pop of turquoise in there. I'm going to go ahead and bring you in a little bit further, and now I'm going to show you what I would do with this clear thread if I were using it. So you're going to also see you'll have a few little glass beads, and I'm actually going to go ahead and string some of those on this clear thread here. It's really hard to find the holes on these with the bright lights that I have shining down. But I'm going to go ahead and do 2 or 3 on my thread here. This can be a little challenging to work with since it's clear, which is why I wanted to include those eye pins, because those just make it so easy. But I'm going to go ahead and trim that. So again, since this is clear, not really going to be able to see, but what I'm going to do is make like a triple knot. And you can pull this super tight, which is one reason why I like it, and then it looks really nice on your charm. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I think my beads just fell off. So it might be a good idea to go ahead and tie your knot first, and then you can stack your beads on. So I have one of the beads on that clear string. You can kind of see it. I'm going to show you one more way that you can secure the beads on, is by putting one bead on, and then you're actually going to take the thread and tie around the bead. I actually find that this is one of the most secure ways, because you're gonna do this twice. You're going to double knot it around that bead, and then that will be your stopper. And this is especially good if you are wanting to thread any big beads on. Now it is time to start building our charm. And I like to get started when I have a few of my eye pins ready to go. And I'm just going to, start adding these to the charm. That one fell off, so we'll set that aside. And I'm going to use my pliers to simply curve this piece down. So obviously you need pliers, and I like to use these ones that have this little cutter. I don't know what the technical word is, but you only need about maybe 1/4 of an inch of the eye pin to be exposed. So I could definitely have added another bead on there if I wanted, but I'm going to take my pliers and simply curve it around, kind of like a candy cane. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure that it's curved around. And then we're going to take that little curve and I'm going to add it to the top chain here. I like to build down. So now that it's on the top here, I'm going to take my pliers again and I'm just going to grab the very end. It's going to be really hard to see this because it's small. I'm going to bring you in just a bit though. Okay, so I'm going to take my pliers and grab the very end of that candy cane. And I'm going to take it and just kind of pull it down so that it meets itself. And I'm just going to kind of play around with these for a minute. You can definitely just take the pliers and squeeze it together too, but I think that it looks kind of nice to have that loop. And I realize it's going to be really hard to get it to focus on such a small piece. And it does twist around and stuff as well, so you kind of have to work with it. It's not hard, it's just going to take some time to get it just right. And then once you have it to where it's kind of almost meeting itself, if you're not able to just pull it all the way down, you can use your pliers and just squeeze it together. You do want to make sure that it's squeezed all the way together so that your beads are not going to fall off. But we have the first piece on, and so now I'm going to go ahead and take my second, and I have this bead that keeps falling off here. And I do need to trim some of this, so I'm going to go ahead and use this. You could probably use regular scissors to trim these as well. Okay, so we're going to do that same thing again. So I'm basically going to take my pliers, take the edge, and make a little loop. And that one's not even perfect, but again, it's really not going to matter. And then I like to go maybe 3 or 4 chains down, and I'm going to go ahead and add this on that same way. So I'm going to basically take that little loop and just place it right in the chain. And then I like to kind of fold that chain out of the way. And then again, I'm going to take my pliers and just close that up. I'm really sorry if I'm not getting all of it on camera. It's so hard because normally I would want this super close to my face, but there we go. So now we're going to take our last eye pin. Maybe I'm going to add a few more of the little beads just to add a little bit more color in there. Okay. So for this one, I'm not even going to trim any of that. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to curve it down. If you can do it all in one swipe, I find that it works a lot better. And I'm going to put this one probably about 3 chain lengths down. Okay, now we're going to squeeze this all the way down, or bring it all the way down, whatever works best for you. So there we go. Now we have this, and we have so many more beads to work with that I kind of want to add some more. Like I said, I made this clear piece, and I'm thinking that maybe I'm going to go ahead and tie this somewhere near the top, but I'm actually going to go ahead and string the rest of the little glass beads that I have in my kit here. and I'm going to string it through this very first ring, and I'm going to tie it as close as I can to the top because I want this this string of beads to be closer to the top since it's a little bit more naked at the top. So I'm going to have to get this closer to my eyes, but I'm just going to basically tie like a triple knot. And then once you have that tied on, you can trim your clear string like so. And there we go. These charms are actually really cool too because they do have this jump ring at the very bottom, which makes it perfect if you have a charm that you wanted to, I can't get that just right, but it makes it perfect if you had a charm. The kits don't come with a charm. I just wanted to focus on the beads for this one, but if you have a charm that you want, it's very easy because you can just open this up, which I will show you. So you would just take your pliers again and you're just going to put them in the little jump ring here, and then you open it like so, and then you can easily slip on any type of charm that you had. And I wanted to quickly point out that your kit may have come with either bead spacers or bead caps, and I wanted to just show you that those are simply just used to add some interest to your beads. You can use the bead caps either on layering it on the bottom or top of a bead, and if you can see, that just gives it a really pretty look. You can use the bead spacers in between the two beads, and I'll try to show you what that would look like. So when you have it on your eye pin or the string, again, it's just going to add some interest, and it's really hard to show you, but you would just space it in between two beads like so. And so you can include those if it's something that you like. And then the jump rings that you would have got, you can use those if you have anything of your own or any charms that you want to add the charm to the chain like so.